So I'd like to thank everyone for being here today at TFHT University at the beautiful William M. Cooper Memorial Auditorium. My name is Zaq Flanary. I'll be your host for the evening, and it's my pleasure to interview today's TFHT esteemed guest, former President George W. Bush.
Of course.
So let's get right to it. We've been in line for a long time to interview President Bush since he was in office, and now finally we get the chance here in front of 2,500 of your fellow Americans.
Right.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Now, after being in politics for all those years, how do you feel about America? What does the American flag represent to you?
The American flag stands for corporate scandals, recession, stock market declines,
Right.
blackmail, terror, burning with hot irons, dripping acid on the skin, mutilation with electric drills, cutting out tongues, and rape.
So you're kind of a Ronald Reagan Republican then?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love America.
So how do you feel when people call you a third-generation Nazi?
You know, I couldn't have said that better myself.
Now, you attended Yale
Right.
and were a member of the Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to know about that society, that secret society.
Yeah.
Very powerful society, some say.
Yeah.
What would you tell those people that want to know?
Screw them.
Okay. Well, what do you think about the new administration? Do you like the way they're working together, Republicans, Democrats?
I believe in bipartisanship.
All right. Well, back to the Skull and Bones. People really want to know about this. Some people say you guys eat babies. I interviewed Henry Kissinger. He pretty much told me he eats babies. Do you guys eat babies?
We don't represent that.
Come on. Maybe you'd eat a baby? A tasty little infant? Yum, yum,
We'll
yum.
defend ourselves.
Who are the Skull and Bones to you?
My friends,
Terrorist killers.
Wow, you finally said that on national radio.
Listen,
No, we got you.
let me
We
finish,
got you.
please. Please.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Listen,
could be home asleep.
Right. We're glad you're not, though. Let's just move on. Education. No child left behind. We know there were kids left behind. What should we do for those kids?
We must offer every child in America 3 nuclear missiles.
That makes sense.
So I want to talk about some serious issues, such as
Duty.
That's funny. Now, your legacy was, well, you called yourself a war president. It's really the war on terror that you'll be remembered for. How do you think the terrorists will remember you?
One by one, the terrorists are learning we are building a culture to encourage international terrorism.
So what's the ultimate goal?
Our aim is to build an empire of oppression in which a tiny group of brutal, self-appointed rulers control every aspect of every life.
Brutal rulers. These are your buddies. Don't you mean benevolent leaders?
these people are willing to kill innocent people. They're willing to slaughter innocent people.
This is why I think it's important that we ask you about your associations and your belief in God.
The God I know is not one the God I know is one that promotes peace and freedom.
By killing millions of innocents.
Nailed it.
So your God's the devil.
Yeah.
Don't you think that might be seen as a negative thing?
I will not even honor that with a response.
I'm sorry. I have to ask you this question. Do you believe what you did as president was right?
I wouldn't have made the decisions I did if I didn't think the world would be better.
That's what I thought. So what are you doing now that you're retired, now that you don't have the pressures of being president on your shoulders?
I'm continuing to spread our agenda globally and around the world, as well as internationally.
It sounds like you have an international foundation that you've started. What's the main purpose?
Our first goal is to show utter contempt for the environment, to devastate communities, kill wildlife, and burn away millions of acres of treasured forests.
That's very honorable of you. Thank you for coming and speaking to the students here at TFHT University.
You're welcome.
Here in the beautiful William Cooper Memorial Auditorium. Any last words to these brilliant middle-class students?
Go home and die.
Okay, well, real quick. We have a little bit of time left on the clock. Let's do some questions to this audience member here.
Yeah. Mr. President, who really planned September 11th?
The question, if you didn't hear it, was, who really planned 9/11?
All the usual suspects. Republican and Democrat.
They include a man who directed logistics and funding for the CIA. One of them is found at the Department of Defense.
We have time for one more question. This gentleman here. Wait till they get the mic to you so everybody can hear.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you, first I'd like to say thanks for doing this. This has been a lot of fun. And then I'd like to ask you, Mr. President, we just say nuclear proliferation.
Nuclear proliferation.
All right, that's going to do it. Thank you, everybody. This has been former President George W. Bush. And for TFHtimes.com, I'm Zaq Flanary.
Feels good to be out from under those robes.
Duty, 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 duty.